One, I want to do one slight reframe here. What the person said was they said they wanted to learn to calm the inner storm of fight or flight brain. So just one quick little tweak when it comes to talking about the brain. This is not a brain issue. It's a whole body. It's a whole body. It's a nervous system issue. It's really, I mean, very specifically like a brain stem issue, which then gets sent down to the body and up to the rest of the brain. So brain stem, when it comes to polyvagal theory, is absolutely like uh, a key piece of this. But when it comes to polyvagal theory, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to all this state stuff, it's a whole body issue. It's not just the brain. So I don't want us to focus on the brain. We hear about the brain, the brain, the brain, the brain so much in mental health, and yeah, it's important. I get it. But this is a whole body issue. There are messages going to the brainstem, and there's messages going from the brain down to the brainstem. We say brain to body and body to brain, but really what we're saying is messages to the brainstem in particular. So it's not just a problem with the brain. The entire body is prepared for safety or for defense. In this case, we're talking more about defense. And when we're yelling and when we're fighting, when we're being dominant and controlling or aggressive, more that aggressive controlling, that's like fight states kind of stuff. We are taking up space. And in the fight state, that's kind of what's happening, is that we are not increasing space. We're actually decreasing space. We're decreasing. We're getting closer to the danger in order to get that danger to back off. So we have to calm the body by increasing cues of safety and creating tolerance to distress. That's really the key here when it comes to not just this, but self-regulation in general. It's about calming the body. I'm not worried about the brain, just the brain. It's of course a factor. Right now, where you're using your brain and hopefully learning new concepts or relearning it or getting a reframe here and there. Your brain's very much involved. It's involved right now. But it's not just the brain. So we have to calm the body, and we do that by increasing cues of safety and creating more tolerance to distress. They asked, though, how to stop/slow the reaction. So for this person in particular, I have no idea. For you in particular, fellow stuck nut, dear listener, I have no idea. What I would ask you is just for yourself, for your own self-reflection, what helps to bring you to a baseline? And what I mean by baseline is not your home away from home, not like where the defensive state that you're in more often than not. When I'm saying baseline right now, I'm asking, what does it look like? Describe what it feels like for you to be calm or self-regulated or in your body or in the present moment. Maybe you don't know what that's like. That's okay for now. Remember a time when you did feel that way, maybe. So what is your baseline? What does it feel like? And kind of mentally, or even you could actually create it if you want, create a map of what it looks like and how to get there. So you have to kind of have some familiarity with what helps bring you to safety, especially like from more of a sympathetic fight state, like what helps you to climb your polyvagal ladder up into your safety state. Because that's where we want parenting to come from there. We don't want parenting to come from a dominant defensive state. We want parenting to come from that safety state. So for me, like I know if I'm in more of an aggressive, frustrated kind of place, I need to shut up. I need to breathe, and I need space. That kind of does it for me. That helps. And when I do that, I remind myself how much I love my kids. That's top down. That's like a thought that can help me change my state. So if I need to shut up, I breathe, I get space. I remind myself how much I love my kids. I remind myself that getting angry and not climbing my ladder in that moment is not going to help, but it makes things worse. That helps me out to have those reminders and have that space and taking that, usually it's like one deep breath or one slow breath on the way out. Sometimes I close my eyes. That's usually enough for me to be like, okay, and to come back and to be able to parent more effectively. So what helps you to deal with or get out or self-regulate your through your fight energy. And if you don't know the answer to that, that's where you start. You got to figure that out. So I don't know the answer for anybody in particular. I have no idea. You have to be curious. You have to figure out what helps me to climb my polyvagal ladder in general, and also what helps me to climb out of my, or deal with, or feel more effectively my fight energy. And even if it's, don't even worry about like changing it. Don't worry about changing it. Allow it to be there, but anchor yourself in safety. So even if you are in that aggressive fight state, that's not a bad thing as long as you're anchored in safety and it's under control. So that might be something that you focus on, is what helps me to stay in my body and not get overwhelmed by those defensive states. That's where you start. I mean, you got to figure that out. So how to stop / slow this reaction, you got to figure out what brings you to safety. And once you do that, then you can become curious about what state you're in and what helps you to climb out of that state. But maybe just identifying what helps you come to safety might be a good place. I think it's always a good place to start, honestly.